that particular crime. All right. And there are a variety of crimes that one could commit, and it depends on the country you're in, right? That would warrant the death penalty or capital punishment, right? Now, I think universally, right, one of the worst crimes any human being can commit on this planet is murder, right? So if you commit murder, if you are in a country that promotes the death penalty, you would likely face that, right? If not, you probably get one of those life sentences. America has this plan that I find very intriguing, but it's also very heavy. Multiple life sentences. Imagine if you commit a crime so heinous, like say a serial killer, and usually those multiple life sentences are met on those who have committed some very terrible forms of murder. I'm talking about people, serial killers who would either kill, dismember. Sometimes some of them have some form of necrophiliac thing about them. So they'll kill somebody, they'll have sex with the corpse. Dismember. Look, see, human beings have done a lot of crazy things. And those crimes that offend the sensitivities of the wider public usually get this very stiff punishment. But here it is. You see, there was a time in this country, and for those of you who are probably, this is 2024, let's say you were born in 2000 or 1999 or 1998, right? You probably haven't seen this aspect of the Nigerian society since you were born. Not the death penalty, no, but the televising of the death penalty. That's what we're talking about this morning. You see, there are several people in prisons in this country who are on death row. Ideally, after the judge or judges have deemed fit that your life is forfeit, the crimes that you have committed, warrant such, right? The governor of that state, wherever you are incarcerated in, is meant to sign your death certificate, and then the executioner, right, is meant to also sign and say, okay, I'll do my due diligence. I'll make sure my whatever tools, whether you're going to die by hanging, firing squad, or stoning to death. Oh yes, that's a thing in this country, by the way. I'll make sure I do my due diligence and make sure that you are the one, and then I'll carry out my function, right? But you see, in the 70s and part of the 80s, but I grew up watching documentaries showing how Nigeria was. This was after the war, right? After the Civil War, after the Biafra War, right? In the late 70s in particular, late 70s, early 80s, it was common to have people, to have the government, particularly the military junta, to have them announce that so and so and so day, so and so criminals will be facing the firing squad. And then you see people back then in Lagos, they'll troop to Bar Beach. Or any of the beaches, can't remember. But yeah, just to go to the beach then. That's where, you have a lot of Nigerians now converge. Children, adults, disabled, whatever. They were all there to witness that public execution. Public execution is not new in humanity. The French did it. They had the guillotines. It's not new. Very ingenious device that severs your head, with a very sharp blade from a high altitude, and you don't feel any pain. Just one, you're here today, you're not here the next second. All right? So that's what the French used to do after the French Revolution, right? But in our current time, ladies and gentlemen, in our modern time, do you think it is appropriate to have the executions made public? That's my question for you. I'm not here to ask you whether the death penalty should be continued or discontinued. No. Do you think that the death penalty should be carried out in the form of public executions? Do you think that the practice those days of firing squad and then the entire city will come and watch? Or sometimes we'll see it in the newspapers. I remember seeing pictures back then in the newspapers, right? Or these days we have social media. Do you think this will help combat crime? Should executions be made public? As always, please turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see or hear. Please do not make mention of it. And very importantly, keep your conversations civil.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
017-923-0002, 0817923-0007. WhatsApp is 0809-030-6416. I'll take WhatsApp calls 0809-030-6416. At Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Thank you, Jude. I remember growing up in my community. They did one execution of a criminal in an open field, one primary school. They did it, tied the guy, brought army that shot him. That memory he did, I have never forgotten it. That period when you do something, maybe once they are looking for what it is, did you remember that man that was shot? He told. So the parents were always using that guy as a reference to tell us that when you see that is the same way they are going to do you. So we are having that consciousness of they will come and tell you, you look at the agony of the parents, the mother, and the blood people in his community are shot. So that stigmatization, in fact, it was a very horrible experience. Very horrible.
It was horrible,
so
right?
Most times it's also good to guide the mindset of the younger generation that when you do this thing, this is the end point.
So would you want future executions to be made public in Nigeria?
I don't think so. I will not support it because that one I saw, I have not forgotten about it as a child. It was a very bad experience.
All right, it was a very bad experience. Thank you very much. Wouldn't want it. It's a memory that's indelible in his mind, he says. WhatsApp 089-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. That's our WhatsApp and Telegram number. All right. Let's see. Try and get a call here. Someone's trying to call us on WhatsApp. We're trying to return the call. So here are some of the points that I was able to glean yesterday evening when I asked this question to a few people. Now, on one hand, they said that humanity has evolved, that the idea of public execution seemed barbaric. And then another group said, look, just the same way we record Big Brother and all the other television shows, some of them are rated, right? That they should also record and make public, although with warnings, of such a thing. The argument is, what exactly were people learning from the dance competitions and the singing competitions and the Big Brothers and the whatever? What morals were being taught, right? So, but if you record this and you let people know, okay, R18, this is for mature audience, blah, 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 but it is basically the government ending the life of one of its citizens. They said yes. Where do you stand? Really? Where do you stand? Victor is on the line. Victor is speaking to us from Rumo Krushi. Victor, good morning to you.
Okay, Jude. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Victor.
The question is very, very critical because the way I look at it, a lot of governors will not like to stain their hands by saying, okay, I signed to kill okay, let's go ahead and kill the person. Just like the first caller, saying that in those days, when we were small, somebody like me, I witnessed it 2 times.
Wow.
In Calabar at Ebru Tubara. Where the fire human being, is scatter.
Wow.
So, if something like that should be done, from my own opinion, if things like that should be continued, I think some of the crime would have reduced.
Okay, but Victor, the question is not whether they should continue with firing squad or death penalty, because we still have the death penalty in this country. The question is, should they record it and show people? Should people come and watch?
Yes. They should do it publicly so that it should serve as a warning to any other person that want to go about it. Yes, because like when you look at the way people turn kidnapping as to become a business, a normal business is just a normal thing now. I think there are certain penalties that should be given that when you hear it, you just know that anything that takes you there and we get the evidence, you are publicly showed. It will reduce some certain, because a lot of criminals.
You don't think that type of thing is too barbaric, it's too old school?
It's barbaric. Okay. What about the issue of kidnapping somebody and keeping at your tent till the person dies? Is it not barbaric?
Okay.
Having the mind of keeping somebody hanging from, some of them will go and cut somebody's neck. Collect the brain, the head, collect the breast, collect the private part. Is it not barbaric? It's barbaric.
Okay.
So I think if they do it public, if they do it a public show, when you kidnap.
Okay. All right, Victor, thank you very much. Let's go on the break, please.
For more talk, news
Welcome back. We're trying to establish contact with some of you who have been trying to get to us on WhatsApp via the WhatsApp call. That last number did not get through. Let's try this next one. This one says it is Mr. Zion. All right, let's see if we can get Mr. Zion on the line to talk to us just before we get to the headline news. Now, if you're just joining us, my question is, should executions be made public? That means the various means of ending someone's life by the government, whether it's by firing squad or now lethal injection, should they be made public? Mr. Zion, what say you?
Thank you very much, Jude.
Good morning, please.
It should not be encouraged. It should not be televised, and it should not be recorded or be made known on any document for the public to have access to.
But the death warrants,
primitive.
The death warrants have been signed just the same way you and millions of Nigerians say, oh, government has signed this thing. We're not seeing the money. Government has done this. We cannot tell who they went to go and do this. They signed the death warrant. They should see it.
In Mr. Jude, in 1971, was when we made that error. We continued that process after the Civil War, thinking it's going to deter people from committing crime. I want to ask, after that, has he ever solved any problem? I want to put it to you and to the general public that we failed as a people when we had hair, indict or adopt such a process because the white man did. In 1995, one of our illustrious sons was executed in such a manner that the whole world stood still for that kind of...
Oh dear. Okay. Zion, we'll get back to you. That's a job cost scenario. But let's get to the headline news, shall we? Let's do that.
Headline news. Nigeriainfo on
92.3.
Headline news.
Headline news, 92.3 Nigeriainfo. Good morning. Paramount ruler criticizes government reactive response to flooding in Ahoda West. Police yet to speak days after cultists invaded more communities in Rivers State. Governor Fubara to summon contractor over slow pace of project. PDP governors to meet ahead of NEC meeting. In business, federal government reveals plan to increase oil production. In entertainment, Lagos State government receives forensic analysis of late singer Mohbad. In sports, Nigeria midfielder Wilfred Ndidi becomes 9th Nigerian to reach 200 appearances in the England Premier League. And on the foreign scene, Peru's former president gets over 20 years jail term for corruption and money laundering. Details in the 12 noon bulletin. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0808-721-7215, 0808-721-7215. My name is Jude Omamigbe. Thank you for listening and good morning.
Are you up to date with ideas for sustainable development?
92.3 Nigeriainfo serves you opportunities
to ask great questions,
contribute solutions,
and transform society for the better.
I'm listening. Are you?
Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. Information is a source of development. Stay tuned.
So, in the late 70s and early 80s, public executions were pretty common. All right, and like I told you earlier on, about 2 or 3 centuries ago, when the French Revolution had, taken sway and everything, it was not usual to have public executions, particularly the aristocrats. Now, we have a caller on WhatsApp. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning. This is Chief Prince from Omocham, Opwala, and Ngobala local government area of Imo State, Nigeria.
All right. Good morning to you, Prince. What do you think? Do you think public executions should once again return?
The answer is yes.
Why?
Based on the reference of what the second caller said concerning how the witness
Hello, sir.
But remember, when he remembered about those who were killed, those who were shot, firing squad, that made him to put his life on check.
Okay.
On some certain things he was supposed to.
But
if such thing is made carried out, right?
Yeah, but you do know that all over the world now, it's not generally done any longer. Yes, some countries still have the death penalty, but they don't, make it public. They don't call the television stations come and watch. No, they just do it quietly and they tell you, we killed 10 people who were caught kidnapping or who killed other people. That's what they do. So why do you want the public execution back?
Sir Jude.
Yes, sir.
Who are those in charge of making decisions for the masses in the public?
Okay.
In the whole world, if we are following or emulating the whole world, who are those few persons who are deciding that it should not be televised? Then, if Nigerian is good in assimilating or learning about gay and all the rest of them, why? What have we gained? Look at how Nigeria, our country, is in shambles because of crimes being up and down. The second thing I mentioned is severely people in prison. In it. Is it not barbaric? When you touch those people, you make it out the same way they make it out to those people they killed. And it will put their colleagues and others who are planning the same thing on check. If not, the whole crime will continue.
So you support public execution? Hello, Prince.
My headmaster, late headmaster,
yes,
told us a story about a young man who was supposed to be shot, and he called his mother. The mother came and he beat off the ear of the mother. That the mother did not tell him what to do, and that have caused him to end here. That has been a story in my life since I was in primary school up to date.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So that shaped him. That made sure he didn't do wrong. But is that, like Zion said, barbaric? Why do we need a public execution? Why do you need to see how somebody's life is taken from him? Why?
Views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Zion, go ahead. Good morning to you. We have Miro standing by.
Thank you very much.
Just go on, please.
Oh, yes. It's only but traumatize the viewers, and which may only lead to further revolution. Ever since Aninis and the rest, the likes of Anini, Folorishos, the Labo and the rest that we all know by history, that was executed televised. Did you stop crime in Nigeria?
One would say no.
In fact, it has even given birth to more. It's only traumatized the viewers. I was trying to narrow it down to our environment that just happened of recent. I know it's going to hurt the few, but I have to say it. One of our uncles, Ken Sarowiwa.
That's a painful.
What gave birth to the agitation in the Ogoni region that are even more
painful
fears
reminder
that gave birth to what we call the UNEP report? Do you know how many Ogoni sons and daughters are angry that are ready to carry arms against this nation for killing their ancestor, their uncle, their husband, and their brother? It's not because they are quiet. Don't try that again in this generation. We are more wiser than before. We are more smarter than before. They have access to arms. A lot of youth have access to arms. If you try that again to any of their lineage, they may be so provoked.
But Zion, your sentiments. Zion, I totally agree. Psychologists would even agree that to a certain level, these kinds of actions would only spur people to be more daring. However, we've seen countries, Russia, China, and all these other countries who have done the same. And they do so because they believe that those people have done something against the state. And you have people who fight against the state.
Their cultural upbringing is different from...
Muriel is on the line from Africa. Ken is in Ubumini. Muriel, good morning to you, please.
Hi, Jude. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Look, Jude, recently I saw on the part of the debate the drawing of a very... In fact, I couldn't even look at kidneys, the liver. It was so bad, that picture was so. And they said smokers are liable to
die young. Yes.
They will. They did not put liable. They said the heart of the smoker will eventually look like this. No, when he continues to smoke. But it has not stopped smokers. People from smoking. But not doing that is even worse.
I see.
It will even deter some people when they see that. Don't that picture. We stop them. But some will still go ahead. So for me, I think public execution is good. It is very good.
But are you not concerned? But Miriam, sorry, I have to interject. But are you not concerned about the view held by Zion and people who have the same view that you may just be agitating or maybe angering people who support that particular person, whether it's his criminal gang or people who are in opposition? It will make them feel angered. They did this to our brother. Let's fight back.
No, Jude, it will. It may, but trust me, the positive side of it will outweigh the negative. And I even think that excursions, we should escort escorters in schools, primary, nursery, should be done, and people should take children to even prison.
Really?
Trust me, it depends on a particular age,
Yes.
Should see his execution. It will definitely, from the childhood, when they see this continue to see it, trust me, Jude, it will definitely deter many of them from doing it. I think it's good. There's nothing wrong in it.
Okay.
It is good.
All right. Ezekiel is speaking to us from Ubumini. Ezekiel, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning. Welcome.
Jude, I think public execution is ideal. Because if you ask me, olden days, according to Mr. Zion, I think the 1995 public execution has nothing to do with criminality. It is a political undertone, which you and I know.
Okay.
But we are talking about criminals here. Those who don't have the conscience of kidnapping, killing, indiscriminately, to be frank. So if you know that you will not be executed or be killed by another man, you should also be cautioned if there will be introduction of public execution, so that these upcoming generations will know what happened during the military era, just like as we are now referring to that. So that there will be fear, conscience, and a kind of, if I do this, what will happen to me if they catch me? Because, Jude, as at that time, the rate of criminality and nowadays is, if you ask me, this time around is something else. It's something else because we are pampering, we are compromising. We see that that is what that is how it's supposed to be, or that is what we are seeing in nowadays because of what we are watching in the television. Have you heard about hostage keeping or kidnapping early 80s and the 70s and 60s?
Very few.
It is what we are watching from the Western world
that
made us to be practicing it. We learn how to kidnap during our fight, during our militant fight, our Niger Delta fight. That is when we started learning what is called militancy, because we are no longer seeing the whites on the road. I don't know if you are getting me. So let there be public execution so that our parents and our children will take correction, and it will serve as a deterrent to it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Ezekiel, calling from Mugu.
All right, Ezekiel, thank you for your views. Let's get to WhatsApp. All right, a lot of messages coming through right now on WhatsApp, WhatsApp calls. But let me read some of the messages. This one says that I support public execution based on the corruption in Nigeria. Recently, it was alleged that Bobrisky, who was supposed to serve jail term, was corruptly put in private apartment. A condemned criminal could be asked to relax somewhere and they'll just tell us he or she has been executed just because money has exchanged hands. From K. Interesting. All right. Anonymous says, it depends, Jude. You see, I don't know if you remember the story of the young lady, Ini Umore, who was murdered 3 years ago when she went looking for a job in Akwa Ibom State. I remember that. Her killer, Uduak Akpan, was quickly apprehended, tried, convicted, and sentenced to death. I read last month or so on the blog that he's been executed. From what I saw in the comment section, I wasn't the only one who doubted the veracity of that report. Now, I know from research and experience that it is not exactly impossible, as not as hard as you would think it is, to spirit somebody abroad, whereas people in Nigeria were made to believe that the person is dead. And we learned that of Bobrisky's situation, that he was in jail. No, he was in a luxury apartment. The only time the public gets to even have a reason to suspect the truth is if someone has a big mouth or itchy fingers, like Idris Okuneye, or if someone slips up. So they are cited abroad because they have dropped their guard, or even in a different country, they can't be indoors forever. So if the point of the death penalty is to be punitive or a deterrent, how do people know for sure it has happened if it is not public? Oh, that's a message. And you cannot fault the logic. How do we know that this thing that the government said they've actually done it, if it is not made public? At Nigeriainfo PH. At Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. We have Clement on the line. Clement, good morning to you. Hello, Clement. Hello, Clement. Good morning. Can you hear us? Oh, dear. Clement, can you hear us? Good morning. Oh, dear. That was a WhatsApp call. Clement, we'll try and re-establish contact with you. Just stay onto your phone, all right? We'll try and re-establish contact with you shortly. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, all right? 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. Oh dear, it's a very poor service on WhatsApp. Surprisingly so, I must admit. All right. WhatsApp now, okay? Now, Jude, can you define a pedophile? We know it's sexual urges that lead to people to do this. It's sexual urges that leads people to destroy a minor's future. Is it not barbaric for people to do that? Now, Mr. E is a pedophile, and he has a friend, Mr. M, who is also a pedophile. Mr. E gets caught, then he's killed. And at that time in the public view, bet that his friend, Mr. M, will learn from it. Also, it will teach the future generation that this path will kill. Seeing is believing. When they see him, they go feel him. Also, it brings to the consciousness of people who are doing wrong that there is a consequence for their action. Last but not least, what they do in those Big Brother houses is not, is it okay for viewing? If it is, free to be released. I mean, it is public advertising of pornography for me. Then it is okay for executions to be made public. Wow. The arguments this morning. 90.3, good morning, please.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Yeah, shoot, this is your topic. Going up, I will tell you that we were told that the people that are that condemned criminals will be brought to public notice. You see them. If their execution is to be hung, they will hang them to the public notice. But in our days, you hardly see that, although international laws have condemned that. But if they are on this kind of execution, at least the public should be aware and where it will take place. But in our days, somebody who has the money will just pay or drive a system. Before you know, they will replace that name with another name, and that person will go scot-free. So I think a lot has to be done. Thank you.
All right, Joseph says a lot has to be done. You know, there's too much corruption. You don't want anybody's name to be substituted, and then another person gets to, as it were, pay the piper. All right, let's get back to calls now. We have a call coming through. 90.3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Good morning. This is Dede calling from Iwasa.
Welcome, Dede. Go on, please.
Right. For me, I think public execution is good.
It
and
is?
good to go. Having followed the trend in Nigeria right from 1980, 1990, I think those days they normally do this public execution on most of these condemned criminals. And there are processes to follow. But Jude, if you will agree with me, there is a lot of interest in crime and committing of crime. If you remember Evans, kidnapper, Lagos Kingpin, the serial killer in Rivers State that killed how many women?
Allegedly. You know, he recanted.
Allegedly.
Yes, he recanted.
But I think the guy is already in court, either in prison. I don't know if they have finalized this thing. So just like as you corrected me now by adding that allegedly, a lot of issues now has turned to the allegedly. That is the reason why, you know, you can't have that public execution happening in this our time because of clash of interest. There are a lot of interest, political interest, big man interest, family interest, community interest, tribal interest, religious interest. So it has died. It can't come up again. The interest is too high.
Yeah, but you do know, that there are some individuals right now who are on death row in this country. That means they were caught, they went through investigations, their lawyers came to court, the judge or judges sat down, and then after everything they said, Oga, you are guilty, madam, you are guilty, and your punishment is death. By
hanging.
Yes, either by hanging or by firing school, but I think it's by hanging. Yes, but they're there in this country. So why do you need to know? Do you not trust that the government has signed, the judges have said, okay, you are going to die? You don't believe that the execution will be carried out?
I don't believe, because if after the judge, which we assume to be the very last lap of anything that has to do with that case, has given judgment and it is not carried, now how do you follow it up after that judgment? And that is where the interest now comes in.
I see.
Nigeria, our country as of today, anything is possible. It depends on the person involved. You know, the governor was saying something the other day. He said, He wants us to have an institution that is higher than any personality. He wants us to build an institution. But in Nigeria, they have built men that are bigger than institutions.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, if we were to be a serious country to tackle kidnapping, armed robbery, banditry, let the clause of governors signing death sentence convicts upon conviction be removed. It should be that upon conviction by the judges, after 90 days without appeal, prison authorities via their armed squads should execute the inmates publicly, because when the law is weak, the crime will be too high. Oh, good justice with that comment. Interesting. Consequences for bad actions should be made public. Let intending ones see how their seniors become so afraid, urinate and defecate on themselves when they are about to be executed. This will definitely put the fear in the hearts of their followers. Even communities should start banishing children that bring disgrace to their communities. Whilst that sounds like, a hard nail to be hit, whatever happened to the decency and the dignity of the human being? Yes, the person is a convicted criminal. Yes, the person was caught doing wrong. But first and foremost, the person is a human being. Do you not think it would be offensive to the sensitivities of younger, like our first caller said, he's traumatized. Yes, he saw it, but it's traumatic. Well, I guess the conversations are still ongoing. You can continue to send us messages on Facebook and on X, and hopefully on the floors across the country where laws are being made, this kind of debate should lead to a better society. At least that's what we aim to do here every weekday. My name is Jude. We'll go for a break, and after that, the news.